Hey guys, so this should be a pretty quick video. I only really want to mention just a couple things that I'm looking forward to being released in 2015. I'm not going to talk a ton about each of them. I just really want to list them off and make you aware of them if you were not already aware of them. The very first one that I was excited for was Firefight, which was a sequel to Steelheart, part of the Reckoners trilogy by Brandon Sanderson. I already read it and I really liked it. I mean, it's to me, neither of the books in that series are as good as Brandon Sanderson's other work. The first one especially, its writing was sort of lackluster compared to Brandon Sanderson's other writing, but Firefight really was a lot better. The story was not necessarily as good, but I did like both of them. The next thing that comes out in June is Finders Keepers by Stephen King. This is actually the sequel to Mr. Mercedes, which is apparently the first two books in a trilogy called the Bill Hodges trilogy. Bill Hodges is the main character of Mr. Mercedes. He's like a retired detective who kind of comes out of retirement to solve the Mr. Mercedes case. Mr. Mercedes was pretty good. It was definitely not like my favorite thing that Stephen King has written recently, but I did like it. I liked Bill Hodges and I did enjoy reading it, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where he takes the character and where he takes this little trilogy that he's making in Finders Keepers, because he's never really done anything like this before. The next book I'm looking forward to also comes out in June, and that is Armada by Ernest Cline. This is the same guy who wrote Ready Player One. Apparently both Ready Player One and Armada already have like movie deals or something, and if Armada is anything like Ready Player One, then I'm obviously gonna love it, and so is everyone else on booktube. So the next book I'm looking forward to is coming out in November, and that is Shadows of Self by Brandon Sanderson. This is the 5th book in the Mistborn series. It is the sequel to The Alloy of Law. Something very interesting happened recently. Brandon Sanderson decided to tell us that he was having trouble writing this book, the next book in the Mistborn series, so he wrote 2 of them instead. So he wrote Shadows of Self and the next book, the 6th Mistborn book called Bands of Mourning, which actually comes out in January of 2016. Needless to say, I'm really looking forward to both. Both of them are going to be featuring the Wax and Wayne characters from Alloy of Law, and I love those 2 characters. You should not read this book, you should not read the Alloy of Law unless you've read the first 3 Mistborn books, but if you have been caught up or you plan on being caught up to them by the time Shadows of Self comes out, you should definitely read it, because I'm sure it's going to be amazing, because Alloy of Law was amazing. And then another Stephen King book that's being published this year that I'm looking forward to, that's also coming out in November, is called The Bazaar of Bad Dreams, and this is going to be a short story collection, and apparently it's going to have a pretty decent amount of short stories in it. And I don't know how many people have read a lot of Stephen King short fiction, but he is very good at writing short stories and novellas. A lot of his best movie adaptations have come from his short stories or novellas, and I just think he has a really great talent at writing short fiction, and so I'm really looking forward to seeing what's going to be in this one. Then a few that don't necessarily have release dates that we're aware of yet. The first one is the 4th book in the Gentleman Bastard series by Scott Lynch. I've talked about all of them extensively, and I loved all of them. It's one of my new favorite series of all time. I mean, I've talked about it a ton, so you should know about it already, but the 4th one, Thorn of Ember, should be coming out this year. It's been sort of hinted at that it's going to be coming out this year, although we don't necessarily know for sure. It's very hopeful that it will be. Something that Scott Lynch has already done is that he's already named all 7 books that are going to be in the series, which is really interesting. You can actually go on his Wikipedia and see the names for all the 7 books in the series already. So that's how we know what the name of the next one's going to be, and how we know the names of all the other ones that are going to be coming out whenever they come out. But basically, all of the different books in the series seem to be taking place in a new city within this world that Scott Lynch is building. So the next city, I guess, that we're going to be going to is called Emberlane. And then another Brandon Sanderson thing that might be coming out this year, that has been hinted at that is coming out this year, it's been said that it's coming out this year, although we haven't really heard a ton about when exactly it'll be coming out, is a graphic novel called White Sand. It's actually going to be a trilogy of graphic novels. White Sand is a novel that Brandon Sanderson wrote a while ago. It's a Cosmere novel, and you can actually get the novel if you ask him for it. Like, if you go onto his website, go to his contact thing, and ask him to send it to you, he will send it to you and you can read it. I haven't done so yet, mostly because I'm waiting for the graphic novel to come out, or rather the trilogy of graphic novels, but the first one in this trilogy of graphic novels is supposed to be coming out this year at some point. And as with all of other Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere series, this is going to be taking place on a completely different world than all the other worlds in the Cosmere. And then the last thing that also does not have a sort of release date yet, but is supposed to come out this year. It's called The Fireman, and it's by Joe Hill, who, son of Stephen King, wrote Horns and Nosferatu and Heart-Shaped Box and Lock and Key, the graphic novel series Lock and Key. I loved Horns, I love Nosferatu. Those are the only two things I've read by him so far, and I really, really cannot wait for this to come out. He did a reading of this, like, I can't remember if it was the full first chapter or just part of the first chapter, but he did a full live on YouTube reading of the first chapter, and if I can find that, I'll put a link to it down below so you can go watch him read that. But it was really good from what I can tell so far, and I'm really just looking forward to seeing him put out more stuff. Anyway, those are all the things that are coming out this year that I'm looking forward to. If you have anything else that I should be looking forward to that you know of that is coming out this year, then you should totally tell me. But these are the ones I'm most excited about. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you with more very soon.